Okay, let's get into this. We just saw history happen, really.
Absolutely. That white smoke,
Yeah.
a moment people were truly waiting for.
And we're going to dive deep into it. The election of Cardinal Robert Prevost. He's now Pope Leo XIV.
And we're using CNN's live coverage, which is great. It gives us that sort of immediate, raw feel of how it all unfolded.
Exactly. So think of this as your essential guide. We've gone through CNN's reports, the analysis from the ground, all of it.
To pull out the key things.
Yeah, the key events,
Yeah.
the process, how it works, and those first reactions from around the world to the first American Pope.
Mm-hmm. A huge moment.
So our goal today is just to give you a clear, focused look at what this means for the Catholic Church and, well, really the world.
And it kicked off with that signal everyone recognizes, that white smoke over the Vatican.
That's right. Second day of the conclave this afternoon, May 8th. CNN updated around, 1:26 p.m. Eastern?
Yeah, about then. And the news spread like wildfire. White smoke from the Sistine Chapel chimney. Decision made.
And then, not long after, the announcement. Cardinal Robert Prevost, 69 years old, from Chicago, Illinois. Now, Pope Leo XIV.
The first American pontiff in history.
It's genuinely
It
historic.
really is. But his story's more complex than just American, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. His international experience is quite extensive. This isn't just an American story.
He spent a decade in Peru, right. Missionary work in Trujillo.
Exactly. And then Bishop of Chiclayo from 2014 to 2023. Plus, he was recently leading a pretty important Vatican office, the one that deals with bishop appointments.
So he knows the structures, the global church.
Very much so. He's seen it from multiple angles.
And it's significant, I think, that he actually holds Peruvian citizenship since 2015. Has a Peruvian passport.
It really underscores that connection, doesn't it? It's not just a past posting. It's a deep tie.
And CNN picked up on that quote he gave to Vatican News. Something about still being a missionary.
Yeah, I still consider myself a missionary to proclaim the gospel wherever one is. That feels very telling. It does. It suggests he's likely thinking along the same lines as Pope Francis, that focus on outreach, engagement.
That seems to be the general expectation based on his background and that statement. Building on Francis's reforms, continuing that direction, his missionary pass fits right in.
Then came that moment on the balcony, St. Peter's Basilica. CNN's coverage really captured the atmosphere.
Oh yeah, the anticipation. It's such a traditional moment, isn't it? The world just waits.
Holding its breath to see the new pope. Hear those first words, the blessing.
It's centuries of history wrapped up in that single appearance. Gives you the first real glimpse of the new papacy.
Okay, so let's unpack the process itself, the conclave. CNN gave us some numbers. 133 voting cardinals.
That's right, 133. All sequestered inside the Vatican. A big group to reach a decision.
And it's not a simple majority they need, is it?
No, it's a 2/3 majority. So you need significant consensus, more than just half.
And the secrecy is legendary, like something from a novel. Completely cut off, no outside communication.
Just secret ballots?
CNN mentioned the roles too, scrutineers, infirmari.
Right. The scrutineers check the votes. The infirmari collect ballots from anyone who might be ill and can't be in the chapel.
And revisers double-check the count. It sounds incredibly rigorous.
It's all designed to protect the secrecy and integrity of the vote. Casting, counting, burning the ballots, it's a very precise old tradition.
And the smoke. Everyone watches that chimney. Black means no pope yet.
White means we have a pope.
And they actually use chemicals now, apparently, to make sure the color is clear.
Yeah, you need clarity at that moment. No room for doubt.
Good point. And the speed elected on the second day? That seems relatively quick.
It is, yeah. Similar to the last three popes, actually. Benedict VI and Francis were also elected pretty quickly, second or third day.
Ah.
Historically, some conclaves went on for weeks, even months. So, yeah, second day suggests maybe there was a degree of consensus building.
Interesting. Now, what about the scene outside? St. Peter's Square. CNN described it vividly.
Tens of thousands of people. And flags from everywhere.
Yeah, they mentioned Italian, Argentinian, Ecuadorian, Peruvian, obviously Brazilian, Filipino, Polish.
Which it really shows you the global reach of the church. Just seeing all those flags together.
And the emotion. People running into the square, hugging, crying.
Yeah, tears of joy. CNN quoted a lawyer from Rome, Francesca. She called it an epic moment.
And feeling like being at the center of the world. You can imagine that feeling.
Absolutely. And she hoped for someone focused on reconciliation and diplomacy,
Yeah.
which reflects, the kind of hopes people have.
There's another quote, too, from Connie, from South Carolina.
Right, hoping he'd follow Francis's path, helping the poor, fixing the world, helping immigrants.
So definitely high expectations riding on Pope Leo XIV already.
Those hopes often tap into those broader themes, you know? Social justice, global issues, they've become really central to the papacy recently.
And adding to the whole scene, CNN mentioned the Swiss Guard marching with their band.
Right, that adds that layer of tradition and ceremony, a visual reminder of the Vatican, its history.
And even before the white smoke, when it was still black smoke earlier.
People were disappointed, sure, but planning to come back.
Yeah, passing the time, playing cards, buying souvenirs. It shows the dedication, doesn't it?
It does. People made the journey. They understand it's a process, takes patience. They were committed to being there for the result.
CNN also brought up some wider context points, like age.
The average age for recent popes at election is around 67.
And we've seen different outcomes. Benedict resigning at 85, Francis selected in his 70s, John Paul II much younger, starting at 58, and having a very long papacy.
So age is definitely a factor the cardinals likely consider. Balancing experience maybe with energy and the potential length of the papacy, it's a complex calculation.
On the global political side of things, CNN touched on that too.
Yeah, just the idea that the choice of pope sends signals internationally. They even mentioned past letters or tensions involving the U.S. administration.
It's a reminder that this isn't just internal church business, it resonates globally.
The papacy often weighs in on global affairs, social issues, political questions, so the choice can hint at how the church might engage with those things going forward.
And Pope Francis's fingerprints are all over this college of cardinals, aren't they?
Oh, significantly. CNN noted he appointed over 80% of them.
80%, that's huge.
It really is. It likely means his priorities, his vision for the church were well represented in that room, and that increases the likelihood of a successor who might continue in a similar vein.
Plus the diversity he brought in. More cardinals from developing countries.
Exactly. A deliberate effort to make the church leadership look more like the global church itself, broader perspectives.
And what about the papabile, the supposed frontrunners?
Ah, yes. CNN mentioned that concept, but also the famous saying.
He who enters the conclave as pope leaves it as a cardinal.
Right. Exactly. It means predictions are tricky. They mention names like Paralin, Tegel figures known in the Vatican.
But the secrecy, the two-thirds rule, it can lead to surprises.
Definitely. Coalitions form, dynamics shift inside that room in ways we just don't see.
And finally, Cardinal Ree's comment. He's too old to vote now, but he hoped for, what was it? A reawakening of faith.
Yeah, in a world focused on technology, a sense of forgetting God, as he put it, a desire for spiritual renewal.
That probably resonates with many inside the church.
It points to those ongoing challenges, you know? Faith in the modern world, a constant theme.
Okay, so wrapping this up, the big takeaways. History made with the first American Pope, Leo XIV. A swift election, relatively speaking, following ancient traditions.
And a global reaction that seems full of hope, anticipation, maybe some specific expectations based on his background and Francis's legacy.
It really feels like a new chapter opening for the Catholic Church.
Undeniably, with potential ripple effects far beyond the church itself, given its global presence and influence.
So something for you listening to think about. With an American Pope, but one with such deep missionary roots in South America, what unique challenges might he face? And what opportunities does this present for the church in today's world?
Thinking about unity, diversity, the role of faith, this election certainly brings all those themes right to the forefront.